Hey guys, welcome to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan.
And I'm Peanut.
Come here, love.
And I don't want to, I'm scared it's a trap. I know it is. I know you're trapping me.
Hi, love. You know, were you eating hay?
I was. I had a snack.
Okay, thank you. No, look what you've done. You've gotten me dirty. So in this video, I'll be making the mortises to accept these tenants. So I get some good joinery right there. Now keep in mind, in this video, this is how I did it. You could probably do it 20 different ways. I did it that way. So let's get started. Maybe? Yeah, let's possibly. So I'm going to be using a different camera in this episode in this series. The benefits of this camera are that I can hook up my wireless microphone to the camera, so you'll have better audio, but the camera doesn't have a wide angle lens, so it's a lot harder to get some of the shots, and I have to put the camera back as far as possible basically to be in frame and to catch everything that I want to catch. But who knows? So I'm going to give it a try for this episode, and when I edit it, we'll see how it goes. Let's do something. Ready? In this episode, I need to make the mortise in the vertical piece to accept this tenon. Now I'm going to use my dado stack to remove a majority of this material, and then I'm also going to use possibly a router, and I'm definitely going to have to use some chisels to fine-tune this to make sure that it's perfect to accept the tenon joint. So if I measure the tenon in this direction, I have roughly 4 7/8, and I checked all of my tenons to make sure that they're kind of the same. So if I take my tape measure and I place it on here and I mark 4 7/8, now because this drops down about a 1/2 inch here, I need to extend this mark another 1/2 inch. So if I measure that, I got 5 1/4. So if I bring the blade all the way up, I can see where this tooth is, which will be the deepest point, and I put a mark on my table saw. So if I take one of these boards and I measure over 5 1/4 like I did earlier, that mark right here represents where I stop it here when I'm pushing it through the blade. Now what I'm going to end up doing is taking my vertical piece and run it through the table saw with the blade all the way up, and it'll remove a majority of the material for me. So what I did was I set my fence up to be a little bit more than this distance here, and this one is, I checked them, they're all a 1/2 inch right here. This material is a 1/2 inch on both sides. So if I put the table saw right here, and I'm going to go just a hair over a 1/2 inch. All right. And to check it to make sure that I'm good, I'm going to place one of the pieces that I did earlier, and I'm going to run through and I'm going to make sure that the blade doesn't make contact with that piece of wood. So now what I can do is set the blade all the way up and then run 6 cuts onto 6 different points on these vertical pieces, and then I'll have to move this blade over just a little bit, and I'll have to run it through again so I can remove the other side of that cut. So now you can see that I removed a majority of this material. I still have a lip right here, which I can chisel down and bring to the right distance. So this point right here should equal about 4 7/8. It's about 4 3/4, so I can bring this up more with a chisel. I'll need to move the fence over to remove this other half right here because I can't bring the board back on the saw in this direction. So I'm going to make these cuts in all the pieces, on all the ends of the pieces, and then I'll move the blade. Now I also have to make a cut in the middle, so I'm going to have to do basically a plunge cut onto this piece here, which I'll show you in a little bit too. Alright, so this is one of my horizontal pieces.
How many times are you going to make mistakes? Just because your mother made a mistake 9 months before you were born doesn't mean you need to keep making them.
I need to make a mortise into the center of it roughly to accept the middle piece right here. Now I'm not sure exactly where I want that point, but I know that if I put my hand out right about here, that I would like that piece right there. But I also want to think about where my door handle is going to go. Now I did some research. A door handle is between 34 and 48 inches. 34, that's way too low, and 48, that's way too high. So 41 inches. Yeah, that looks good. So just by what feels natural to me, I figured out where I want my horizontal piece for the middle, and that'll give me a window about 2.5, maybe 3 feet tall, and my beadboarding will run from there down. So I put a rough measurement, and this happens to be right in between those 2 points, which the door handle would be 34 to 48 inches, so it's right basically in the middle. Since I'm going to be placing this side of the board against the fence, I need to make sure that I have a mark on this side on both of the boards. So there's a groove here and a groove here. I'm going to flush up the bottom down here. I'm going to make sure that these are flush over here. And I'm going to transfer this mark that I made right here down to this one. And I'll know that if I put this mark on this mark and I bring the blade up into the board, it'll put it at the right space. I'm not going to get exactly what I need, but it'll be close enough, I think. This isn't in the dead center, so I need to make sure that I know which is the top and which is the bottom. So since this end's going to be the bottom, I'm just going to put a B down here, and I'm going to put a T up top.
Oh, you're a fucking genius.
So I'm going to start out, I'm going to bring the blade all the way down. I'm going to place this board against the fence, and that mark right on there. I'm going to turn the saw on, and I'm going to raise the blade up into it. Maybe. Be careful though, this is dangerous. So now you can see I've removed a majority of the material. I'm going to have to go back in here with a chisel and take out and make a square in there basically. But now I need to remove this side of the material. So I'm going to need to move this blade over whatever this distance is so that I'm about a 1/16 inch away from this end right here. So when I set that up, I want to be, I know it's not the best camera angle, but I want to look at one of these teeth here that's on that outside blade. And I'm going to keep it about a 1/16 inch away from this end right here, which that's close enough. I don't want to overcut this, because if I overcut it, I can't add back to it, you know. I'll just be filling it with glue basically, you know. Won't be as strong of a joint. So I'd rather work up to this with a chisel and fine tune it. So I'm going to set this in here just like that, and I'm ready to make the other 6 cuts. You moved the camera before you were done talking. That's a party foul. Me. 36 1/4. 36 1/4. You made the fucking mistake you said not to make. So now I've removed the majority of this material, and this piece is eventually going to go in there. So I can fine tune that after. But that's pretty good. It'll be easy to get most of that out now. I did fuck up though. I often hide my mistakes from you, but I've made a big mistake here. I misread my lines that I had. I should have erased these other marks and went with just this one. This isn't going to be too big of a problem. This cut right here should have went right here. So I'll have to recut this, but it's not the end of the world. It is a little bit, but whatever. So now I'm going to finish the ends of these boards, the 4 cuts that I have to do. So I'm going to set my blade all the way up, and I'll cut this. Now the majority of this material is removed, I can go back with a chisel and make a square box for this joint to go inside. Once I get these mortise and tenons in there good, this project's pretty much going to go together real quick. But that's a pain in the butt.
Real quick? Dude, this is part 6 of 20 parts. There ain't no f***ing quick about it. This is ridiculous. I'm unsubscribing.
Maybe an Instagram picture? I don't know if it warrants an Instagram picture. I don't think it does. Oof, you ugly. I'm going to start making my mortises custom fit these tenons that I've already made. So I want these to be basically paired up with this other one so that I don't flip a piece and then they're totally different. So I'm going to go and I'm going to label each point here. So I'll do like A and A, B, B, C, C. A year ago my neighbor gave me this chisel set. Very nice, top of the line type stuff, I think. I don't know. I think they're really nice. I'm just going to get my 3/4 inch chisel. I'm going to do a majority of this with the 3/4 and then the 1 1/4. These are pretty sharp.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for you to cut yourself, man. I'm gonna laugh.
So this mark right here that I have is on both of these boards. I'm going to put this edge right here on that mark. I'm going to get my utility knife and just put a reference mark on both sides of this mortise. So I know from that mark I can go straight down to the depth of this tenon right here. Can't wait to watch this and see how many mistakes I made.
A lot. You made a lot of mistakes. Like, you really need to go back to like pre-K and take everything over again, because you're really struggling at speaking words. This is shameful advertising for the adults and the portacabos. This is ridiculous.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to my channel, again, please hit that subscribe button. subscribers are what drive me to make these videos and continue doing what I'm doing. If you want to show your support for my channel, please go down in that description. There's a Patreon account that you can check out and make a small contribution to, and I will send you the rest of this series as well as any future series that I do. I'm not even drunk and I sound like I'm drunk. And I'll send you any future series. I disappoint myself sometimes. I'm like, are you that stupid? Your mom must, like, she didn't drop you on your head. She f***ing threw you on your head. Make sure you leave your questions down below. Like it, share it on your favorite social media. So in the next video, I will be making the mortise and tenons fit up nicely and get them all pretty and perfect. And it's a good thing to watch. Thank you.